This is Dr. Sirisha, working as Associate Professor in Institute of Aeronautical Engineering College. Today we are going to discuss about the basics of algorithms, the performance analysis of algorithms. Let's start with the definition of algorithm. What an algorithm is. Algorithm is nothing but a set of statements which give a solution to a problem. Any problem which you consider it to be a problem, which can be solved, can be represented in terms of steps, right? So those steps, the collection of those steps is nothing but an algorithm, which further can be developed into a pictorial way, which is nothing but your flowchart, and which can further be extended syntactically using any programming language. So an algorithm is independent of any programming language. It is not biased. It only looks towards the solution of any problem. It will be generic in nature. Coming to the development, how an algorithm can be developed. Let's see the computational problems that are involved in that. Okay, let's start with the first one. First of all, we are going to define a problem. You have to understand what the problem is meant for, what to which direction it is showing you, what kind of input it is going to take, what kind of output you are going to expect, and all. Next, development of a model. Based upon your requirement, develop a few steps, write a few steps which takes the input and which gives you the required output, right? So in between, specification of an algorithm is nothing but how you're going to specify an algorithm based upon your required input as well as output. Next comes designing an algorithm. As I said, algorithm basically have the first step will be the input, the last will be the output, intermediate will be the logic which you want to implement to convert the problem into a solution, right? So that solution can have in logical programming language, if you talk, it may be having repetitive statements, recursive ones, or that solution can be divided into n number of functions. It can be in any way, right? Next, checking the correctness of an algorithm. How to check the correctness of an algorithm? And how efficient it is. How can you justify whether an algorithm is an efficient one or not? Based upon the logical part which you are going to use to implement or to address that particular problem. Whether you are using iterations or you are using recursive functions, what basically the problem needs will be showing the correctness of an algorithm. That is how we are going to check. Next, analysis of an algorithm. We do analyze the algorithm. There are different complexities which we need to check off. For example, time complexity and space complexity will be the basic two parameters to analyze the complexity of any algorithm. Next comes the implementation of an algorithm. We implement an algorithm. Algorithms do not need any programming language. As I said, you just take a pen and a paper, scribble on it, try to address the solution. Then it can be converted into a executable program using any programming language, right? So then test the program. As I said, everything needs a testing, right? So unless you don't test it, how can you say that it is working or not, right? So for example, if you have written a program to add two numbers, that means obviously you have to use arithmetic addition operator. For example, by mistake you have written subtraction, the actual output and the required output, that is expected one, will not be the same. Am I right? So test it. Remember one thing, all executable ones are not the actual solutions. As we say for our day-to-day life problems also, there will be n number of solutions, but all the solutions are not feasible, not adaptable, right? Only the required solution, which is apt for the particular problem. The same way we need to test the algorithm. That will be the last step, right? Then documentation. Once the testing is successful, document the same. Properly document the same. Algorithms always rely on indentation. I hope you know this word, indentation. Then indentation is nothing but the concept of content writing. I hope you guys might have seen loads of textbooks in your life. Have you ever observed the page content in which they'll be writing something like chapter 1 as introduction? Okay, in that 1.1, some concept of ABC, 1.2 concept of DEF. Then within 1.2, there might be a subheading 1.2.1, some XYZ. Can you see this stepwise structure in which you can see that 1.1 and 1.2 and all the remaining are under the topic 1, which is introduction, right? So under 1.2, the things which are inside it, a step inside, will be under 1.2. If you go for the second chapter, it will start with 2, which will be on a parallel line with 1, right? So this is nothing but indentation. Indentation is the concept which helps you to determine what are all the multiple statements that are under a given topic or subtopic. So documentation algorithms rely on indentation. Okay, even though they're not biased towards any programming language, but to give a clear picture of what compound statement comes under a particular statement. When writing a documentation, indentation is the basic concept which you need to keep in mind. Okay, let's see the properties of an algorithm. While looking at the previous slide, we were talking about efficiency. Am I right? So what are all the properties of an algorithm should be so that we call it as an efficient algorithm? Let's have a look at the properties. First one, finiteness. That means a solution which you give to any problem must be in countable number of lines. It should not be that it is infinite number of lines. You go on and on and on and on and on, and you will get a solution on one fine day. That should not be the answer for any question, right? So any solution must be in a countable, finite number of steps. Next comes definiteness. That means each and every line which you present in your algorithm must be properly and precisely defined. There should not be any statement which unnecessarily occupies the space. Printing the lines, user-friendly lines, not at all required in an algorithm. They are not of much importance. When we convert an algorithm into a program, these points will be important. These points, like user-friendly statements, will get the importance. But while addressing the basic solution of a problem, they do not come into the highlights. They go and sit in the backstage, right? User-friendly statements I'm talking about. So when you write an algorithm, each and every line must be precise and must be some statement which adds value to the algorithm, which calculates something, which reads something, right? So that kind of statement must be there in your algorithm. That defines your definiteness. Next, generality, right? So whenever you address a solution to a problem, that solution must be generic in nature. Mane ki all kinds of problems of similar kind of problems, the solution which you present must be a solution for all. It must act like a template. For example, you write an algorithm to add two numbers, then it must be in such a way that if you convert it into addition of two integers, it must work. Addition of two real numbers, it must work, right? So they must be generic in nature. That means algorithm acts like a template. Precisely talking, it looks like a template in which any model can go and sit. Okay. Next come effectiveness. They must be basic enough to put down on paper. As I said, algorithm will not be scribbled on any programming language. It is not biased. Take a pen and paper, put it on it, right? So it's algorithm is not a one which tells you to just visualize it. when you learn electricity, when you have first time heard about electricity, we will be saying that there will be a wire in that electricity will be passing. Have you ever cut the wire and see the electricity, whether it is existing or not? But we visualize it and we can feel it. Electricity is passing through the wires. That's why this cam is working and it is being recorded. Am I right? That is the one which you need to visualize and understand. Right? That is a basic seed that gets into your mind when you learn about electricity. But while writing algorithm, you shouldn't expect the people that virtually you imagine that whatever I write that can be converted into a program. No, it must be highly effective in nature. Whatever solution you provide must be in such a way that you take a pen and put it in the paper, and it must be shown in terms of words and which can be convertible in using any programming language. Okay, next, input and output. That is the primary one. Any program, if you convert it into any programming language, all the algorithms must take some input and they must give you some output. One output, n number of outputs can be anything, but input must be there and output must be there. That means give and take also. Yeah, you give something, you'll get something. Based upon the logic, it is going to address the solution and it is going to give them. Okay, these are the basic properties of an algorithm. Then have to analyze an algorithm. There are three cases, right? Worst case, best case, and an average case. Worst case is the maximum number of steps taken to address any solution. Best is the minimum number of steps. Average, I can say that it is the optimal number of steps. Optimality means what? It neither tells that these are the maximum number of steps, or nor it tells that it is the minimum number of steps. No, optimal, precise, the best, right? Yes, we can use that word, the best, right? So optimal number of steps which are required to address a solution will be the average case. These will be the three types of analysis we can make. Then have to calculate the complexity of an algorithm. Complexity is also a major point, right? Right. While writing an algorithm, we need to keep that in mind, right? How complex your algorithm is, whether it can be convertible into using a programming language to an executable code or not, right? Few codes will be in such a way that which takes hours together to give the result. I mean, while analyzing huge data, say an example, an input of a terabyte data, to analyze it will take huge time. Then it totally depends upon the logic which you use, right? Logic which you use. So let's check. For example, say there is a problem given to you and to me. Now it is our task. It is our task to write the solution. You have written an algorithm, I have written an algorithm. Now a third party comes and he tries to check whose algorithm is best. Then what is the criteria which he need to consider to evaluate all algorithms? Time and space complexity are the same. These are the two parameters which are used to calculate or to evaluate an algorithm. First one is time, the other is space. As the words are self-descriptive, let me explain you once again. Time complexity. It tells you about the number of operations an algorithm performs to complete the task. How much time the processor needs starting from taking the input at the end, the last stage, which is to give the output. The total time, execution time, we call it as. What will be the execution time? Right? So, by giving just a single input, we cannot determine, right? By n number of inputs, we are going to determine what is the complexity. From worst case to best case of inputs, we are going to give, and we are going to check what will be the time complexity. That is how much time the program is taking to give the result. That will be the time complexity. Next comes the space complexity. complexity. How much memory the program needs to take the input and to give the result. The intermediate logic, to implement the intermediate logic also, it needs loads of memory, right? Intermediate memory. Intermediate is sahi, but it requires it, right? To evaluate. That is nothing but the space complexity. Total space required, needed to evaluate for its working is nothing but space complexity. These are the two parameters which are used to evaluate the complexity of any algorithm. Right. Let's see few examples of the same. For example, consider this statement. It's a simple print statement which prints hello world, right? What will be the time complexity? Think for a while how much time it needs. A simple one, a simple solution for this one is order of one. Why? My justification goes like this. Whether you run n number of times, 100 times, 1000 times, will the time required to print hello world, is it going to change? Because is this piece of code taking any input to evaluate, so that we can think that the time is going to vary? Nahi na? So it is a constant. It is a constant. So order of one. Order for every constant operation, the order of time complexity will be one. Order of one. Right? Let's look at another example. A written statement A plus B. What will be the cost of this? Its time complexity. So written statement. Where it will be written? I mean to say where it will be written. Right? Obviously, it will be written in a function. A function with few codes is going to have a written statement. A plus B, manu. Right? Now, let's evaluate that written statement. What are the paths that are present in this written statement? Right? Basically, it will be called, this function will be called by some another function. So it raised, its definition raised for evaluation. Am I right? So what are the steps? The first step will be the arithmetic operation which it is going to perform. That is addition between A and B, which needs 1 unit of time. Next, as another function have called it, this written function must go back to the called function. That is another one. Okay, so the cost of this function will be, the cost of this written statement will be 2. One is arithmetic operation and the other is retrieving the written address and going back to the call function. Right? So the cost of written statement will be 2. Let me take a bit more complex. Have a look at this. I am reading a variable n. It's a piece of Python code, my dear. Okay. I'm reading a value n, and then I'm going for a loop, which runs from, so I hope you know what a range function is. It runs from 0 to n minus 1. So a total of n values. Am I right? So what will be the complexity? What will be the complexity of this program? So let's evaluate this. Okay. So reading the value, it will be always order of 1. Any number of times you run this piece, n is equal to int of input. The complexity is constant. So it is 1. For this one, have a look. What will be the order? See, for n cases, it will be true. Plus the one case. What is that one case? A case of failure, right? You come out of the loop only when the condition fails. So even to check whether the condition fails, you need to evaluate the condition. Am I right? So you need to put the effort. So order of this one will be order of n plus 1. Am I right? So which can be further evaluated. Order of n is order of 1. which is superior one, order of n. So this is the result. And what about my print statement? How many times this will be printed? Printf statement will print is going to work out only when the condition is true. That means n number of times it is going to get executed. So overall, the set of a 3 statement, what is the highest value? Order of n. So the time complexity of this for loop is order of n. This is how we are going to evaluate, my dears. For example, you have a nested for. Nested for. Even in that case also, if the outer loop is running for n times and the inner loop is running for m number of times, so the total complexity will be m by m, order of m into m, right? So evaluate. Try to take few examples and try to evaluate, my dears. You'll understand. For each and every line, analyze how much amount of time it needs, right, to execute itself. That will give the answer for you, right? This is one of the important parameter which is helpful in evaluating the or analyzing the complexity of any algorithm. Next goes space complexity. As I said, it talks about how much space is required. Let's see. Look at this example. I have 3 variables in my hand. A is declared as 4, B is declared as 5, C is not being declared. It is going to evaluate A plus B and store the result in itself. So let's look at this. How many bytes A, B and C takes? It depends upon compiler, say 2 or 4. Okay, let's consider this as 4 bytes. Okay, so each variable A, B and C are going to take 4 bytes from memory to store their data, right? So order of 4. Order of 4 is nothing but it is a constant. So order of 1. 4 is constant or not? Okay. For 3 variables, 4, 3 is 12. Make it. Even 12 is a constant. So the space complexity of this piece of code is 1. Right? It is not going to change. You run this code, these 2 lines of code 101 times. Is the value of A and B is going to change? Is the value of the C, which is the sum of A and B, is it going to change? Naina? So, the complexity or space complexity which is required is the same. Okay? It will be 12 bytes. Next, look at this piece of code. Right? What I'm taking over here? I'm taking a list. Again, guys, this is a piece of Python code which I have used. Okay, then I have read list, declared LST as a list. Then I have read an integer. Then I'm running a for loop to read the values of our list LST. Then I'm running this code. For example, how many times I've run this loop? Have a look at this range function 0 to n minus 1. Mane how many times? N number of times. For all n number of times, how many variables I am going to read? N number of variables I am going to read. Am I right? So each and every variable takes how many bytes? 4 bytes. Because all are integers. Int. Have a read on that. Int only it is. Okay. So x is equal to int of input I am using. That means I am reading integers. That is pakka. So 4n will be the space which I need. 4 into n. N is the number which you are going to enter. If it is 5, 4 5s are 20 bytes will be the space. If you are using 10 variables, n as 10, 40 bytes will be required. Okay, this is how we are going to evaluate the space complexity of any piece of code or an algorithm. Right? I hope you are pretty much clear with the complexities of an algorithm. In this session, we have learned what an algorithm is. What are the basic points which we need to know about an algorithm before writing or addressing the solution of any problem? Then, how many types of algorithms we can have, right? Then, what are the parameters which evaluate the efficiency of an algorithm, which are nothing but time and space complexity? And we have seen few examples of this. I hope you understood the concept of algorithms. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.